Commander Tak stood on the bridge of his warship, hands clasped behind his back. Through the huge window, he watched another planet fall to the Vorix Empire. The blue-green world grew smaller as his ship moved away. 5 more Vorix ships followed behind, their dark shapes like knives against the stars. "Commander, the planet is now under our control," said Officer Dury. Her face showed no feeling, like all Vorix. "The leaders have signed our terms." Tak nodded once. "Casualties? Minimal on our side. The natives lost 20,000. They fought hard, but without skill. And our new workers? 600,000 healthy ones ready for the labor camps." Tak turned from the window. His gray skin looked almost blue under the ship's lights. His 4 eyes, 2 large ones for seeing far, 2 small ones for close work, scanned the ship's bridge. Every Vorix officer worked silently at their station. None talked unless needed. None smiled. None laughed. The Vorix had ruled nearly a third of the galaxy for 500 years. They were tall, strong, and smart, but most of all, they were cold. They felt no joy, no sadness, no fear. They knew only duty, order, and the need to expand. "Send word to the High Command," Tak ordered. "Tell them planet TR-5891 is now part of the Eternal Empire." As Dury went to send the message, Tak sat in his command chair. He had served the Empire for 30 years. In that time, he had taken 12 planets and killed millions. The High Command had noticed his good work. They had promoted him many times. Now he was one of the most powerful commanders in the fleet. Yet sometimes, in quiet moments like this, Tak felt something strange inside him. Something like emptiness. The feeling made no sense. He had everything a Vorix could want: rank, power, respect. But still, that empty feeling came to him more and more. "Commander, we have a new mission," said Officer Dury, returning to his side. "A human trading post has been found in Sector 7. They are selling weapons to our enemies. High Command orders us to destroy it." Tak had met humans before. They were a strange species. They laughed and cried and showed their feelings openly. The Vorix thought this made them weak. But humans had spread across the galaxy quickly, trading and making friends with many races. They were the only species that had not yet bent to Vorix power. "How many humans at this post?" asked Tak. "About 200, Commander." "Good. Tell the crew to prepare. We attack in 6 hours." As Dury left to give the orders, Tak touched a button on his chair. A screen lit up, showing information about humans. He read it again. Though he knew it well already, humans were shorter than Vorix, with only 2 eyes and soft skin in many colors. They had no natural weapons. They needed much sleep and food. Yet something about them interested him. Their ships were not as good as Vorix ships. Their weapons were weaker. But they kept fighting, kept spreading across the stars. And they did it all while feeling these strange things, emotions. Tak closed the screen when he heard footsteps. Officer Han approached with daily reports. "The crew is ready for battle, Commander," Han said. "All systems at full power." "Good," said Tak. "This will be a simple mission. These humans will learn the price of defying the Vorix Empire." Han nodded and left. Tak stood and walked to the window again. Stars streaked by as the ship moved through space. Soon they would reach the human post. Soon he would see humans up close again. Maybe, he thought, he would keep one alive this time. For study. To understand what made them so different. To understand why they smiled when there was no reason to smile. This thought was not proper for a Vorix commander. Tak pushed it away. The Vorix did not need to understand other races, only to rule them. But as his ship raced toward the human trading post, the strange empty feeling inside him grew stronger. And for the first time in his life, Commander Tak wondered if there was something missing in the Vorix way. The attack on the human trading post was quick and deadly. Vorix soldiers moved through the station like shadows, their weapons making short work of any resistance. Commander Tak walked behind them, stepping over bodies and broken equipment. "Commander, we have secured the main control room," said Officer Han through Tak's communicator. "Most humans are dead. We have captured 8 alive. Bring them to my ship," ordered Tak. "I want to question them about their weapons trade." This was not the whole truth. Tak wanted to see these humans up close, to study them. The empty feeling inside him had grown stronger during the attack. Watching his soldiers kill without feeling anything seemed wrong somehow. But such thoughts were dangerous for a Orcs. An hour later, Tak stood in the prison section of his ship. 8 humans knelt on the floor, their hands bound behind them. Most looked afraid. Their faces showed fear in ways no Voric's face ever would. Some cried, some shook. One woman kept asking about her child. But one man was different. He sat calmly, looking around the room with interest. When Tak entered, this man smiled. "Nice ship you got here," said the man. "A bit dark for my taste, but I bet the heating bills are low." Tak stared at him. The other humans looked at the man in horror, as if he had done something terrible. "Shut up, Jun," whispered one. "They'll kill us all." The man named Jun shrugged. "If they wanted us dead, we'd be dead already. Right, Four Eyes?" He looked directly at Tak. No one spoke to a Voric's commander this way. Tak should have killed the human right there. Instead, he found himself curious. "You are not afraid?" Tak asked. Jun tilted his head. "Oh, I'm terrified. My legs are shaking so bad I'm glad I'm sitting down. But what good does showing it do? Might as well go out with a joke." "A joke." Tak had heard this word before, but never understood it. "Yeah, something funny. Something that makes you laugh." Jun looked at Tak's blank face. "Or maybe you don't know. Do Voric's laugh?" Officer Dury stepped forward, her weapon raised. "Commander, this human shows disrespect. Shall I kill him now?" Tak held up his hand. "No, take the other humans to the cells. I will question this one myself." The guards took the 7 other humans away. Jun remained kneeling on the floor, still with that strange expression on his face. A smile. Tak remembered it was called. "Stand," Tak ordered. Jun struggled to his feet. He was much shorter than Tak, with brown skin and black hair. His 2 eyes blinked often. He wore simple clothes, pants and a jacket with many pockets. "What is your full name, human?" asked Tak. "Jun Kim. Professional comedian, amateur space trader, and now, apparently, your prisoner." He gave a small bow. "And you are?" "I am Commander Tak of the Vorix Empire. I will ask the questions." "Fair enough," said Jun. "Ask away." Tak walked around Jun, studying him. "You were selling weapons to the Ferox rebels." Jun sighed. "Not me personally. I was just performing at the station. I tell jokes for a living. Make people laugh." "This laugh. Show me." Jun raised his eyebrows. "You want me to laugh on command. It doesn't really work that way. Something has to be funny first." "Make something funny, then," Tak demanded. "Tough crowd," Jun muttered. Then he looked up at Tak. "Okay, here goes. Why don't Vorix use elevators?" Tak frowned. "Our ships have lift tubes. They are more efficient." No, said Jun. "It's a joke. The answer is because they always take things to the next level." Jun made a strange sound then, a series of short, loud breaths. His shoulders shook, and his face changed shape, his mouth opening wide. This, Tak realized, must be laughter. The sound was strange to Tak's ears, but something about it felt warm. For a moment, Tak felt the emptiness inside him shrink just a little. "That was not funny," Tak said. "Tough room," Jun replied, still smiling. "Don't worry. I've got better material. We got time, right? Unless you're planning to kill me soon." Tak considered the human before him. The others had been afraid, weak. This one was different. This one might be useful. You will not die yet, Tak said finally. You will teach me about this. Humor. I wish to understand it. For research purposes. June's smile grew wider. Commander, you've just booked the strangest comedy show in the galaxy. 3 days passed. Commander Tak had moved June from the prison cells to a small room near his own quarters. The room had a bed, a table, and a chair. It was still a prison, but better than the cold cells where the other humans stayed. Tak visited June twice each day. He told his officers it was for important research on human weakness. No one questioned him. No one would dare question a commander. Today, Tak sat across from June at the small table. Between them was a screen showing images of different species from across the galaxy. I still do not understand this humor, Tak said. You have told many jokes, but none make sense. June sighed. That's because you're trying to understand jokes with logic. Humor isn't logical. It's about surprise, about things not being what you expect. Tak's 4 eyes blinked in sequence, a sign of frustration in Vorix. Give me an example that even a Vorix could understand. Okay, said June, thinking for a moment. Let's try something different. Physical comedy might work better. He stood up. May I? Tak nodded, curious. June began to walk around the room with stiff legs and arms, held out straight, a serious expression on his face. Look at me, he said in a deep voice. I am a mighty Vorix commander. I am so important and serious. I never smile because my face might crack. Tak watched, confused. That is not how we walk. I know, said June. That's what makes it. He pretended to trip over nothing and fell flat on his face with a loud smack. Then he jumped up quickly, his nose red. Funny. Something strange happened then. Tak felt a tiny twitch at the corner of his mouth. A small sound, like a cough but softer, escaped from his throat. His chest felt warm. June froze, staring at Tak. Did you just? Was that a laugh? Tak stood up quickly, knocking his chair over. No, Vorix do not laugh. It was a breathing problem. But June was smiling wide now. You laughed. It was tiny, but it was definitely a laugh. This meeting is over, Tak said sharply. He moved toward the door, confused by what had happened to him. Wait, called June. Don't leave. This is good. This means you can understand humor after all. Tak stopped at the door. Why is this important to you? You are a prisoner. Your fate is not good. June's smile faded a little. Because laughter is one of the best things about being human. It helps us deal with pain and fear. It connects us to each other. He paused. And maybe if you understood it, you wouldn't be so quick to kill us. Tak said nothing for a long moment. The strange feeling inside him was growing. It was uncomfortable, but also interesting. I will return tomorrow, he said finally. Back in his own quarters, Tak sat alone, thinking about what had happened. He had never made such a sound before, never felt that twitch in his face. It was disturbing. He opened his computer and searched the Vorix records for information about laughter. There was very little. Vorix scientists had noted it as a weakness in other species, a waste of energy. Nothing more. Tak touched his face where he had felt the twitch. Was this a sign of weakness in him? Should he report himself to his superiors for testing? No. The thought came quickly and strongly. If he reported this, they would take June away. They would probably kill the human, and Tak would never learn more about this strange thing called humor. For the first time in his life, Tak decided to keep a secret from the Vorix Empire. He would continue his research with June. He would learn more about laughter. As he prepared for sleep, Tak replayed the moment in his mind. June falling, the sound that had come from his own throat, the warm feeling in his chest. It had lasted only a second, but it had felt good. Tomorrow, he would ask June to make him laugh again. A week passed. Commander Tak had a problem. His meetings with June were becoming the most important part of his day. This was not proper for a Vorix commander. "The High Command is asking about the human prisoners," said Officer Dury during the morning report. "They want to know why we haven't sent them to the work camps yet." Tak kept his face blank, as all Vorix did. "Tell them I am still gathering information about human resistance groups." "Yes, Commander," said Dury, but she looked at him strangely. "May I speak freely?" "You may." "You spend much time with the human called June. The crew is talking." Tak felt a cold feeling in his stomach. This was new too, this feeling of worry. "The crew should focus on their duties, not on mine," he said sharply. Dury lowered her eyes. "Of course, Commander." After she left, Tak sat thinking. He could not keep June on his ship forever without questions, but the thought of sending the human away made the empty feeling return. Later that day, Tak went to June's room with a new plan. "I am transferring you to my personal research vessel," he told June. "We leave tomorrow." June looked up from the book Tak had given him. "Research vessel? What about the other humans?" "They will go to the work camps, as planned." June stood up, his face hard. "No, I won't go unless they come too." Tak frowned. "You are in no position to make demands, human." "Then kill me now," said June. His voice was quiet but strong. "I won't help you learn about humor while my friends suffer." Tak had never met anyone who would risk death for others. It made no sense. Yet he found himself respecting it. "Very well," he said finally. "The other humans may work on my research vessel instead of the camps, but you must continue our sessions." June smiled. "Deal." 2 days later, Tak's small research ship left the main fleet. Besides Tak, there were only 20 Vorix crew members. The 8 humans were given work duties in the ship's kitchen, garden, and cleaning sections. June now had better quarters. Tak had given him clothes, books, and even some old Earth movies from the Vorix databanks. Their sessions continued daily. Tak called them cultural research meetings in the ship's log. In truth, they were something else entirely. "Okay," said June during one session. "Today we're going to try wordplay, jokes that play with language." Tak sat across from him, his posture still stiff, but less severe than before. "Proceed." "Why don't scientists trust atoms?" June asked. "Atoms are stable when?" "Because they make up everything." June interrupted with a grin. Tak blinked. "But they do make up everything. That is scientific fact, not humor." June sighed. "The joke is in the double meaning. Make up can mean compose, but also lie or invent stories." "Ah," said Tak. "A language trick." But his mouth twitched slightly. June noticed. "You almost smiled." "I saw it." "Perhaps," admitted Tak. Over the past week, he had stopped denying these reactions. They still confused him, but they also interested him. "Let's try another one," said June. "What do you call a fake noodle?" "There is no such thing as an impasta." June laughed at his own joke. This time, Tak made a small huffing sound, almost a laugh. The warm feeling in his chest grew. What neither of them noticed was Officer Han standing outside the door, listening. Han had been curious about these daily meetings. What he heard shocked him. The commander, laughing. Han's first thought was to report this to the High Command immediately. Such behavior was against Vorix ways. But then he paused. He had served under Tak for 6 years. Tak was a good commander. Fair. Effective. Han decided to wait and watch. For now. Inside the room, June was telling another joke, and Tak was feeling something new growing inside him, where the emptiness had been. Something warm and bright and strange. Something like joy. Officer Han could not stop thinking about what he had heard. Commander Tak, laughing. It seemed impossible. Han had been raised, like all Vorix, to believe that emotions were weakness. Yet Tak was the strongest commander he knew. The next day, Han followed Tak to his meeting with June. He stood outside the door again, listening. "Today we try funny stories," he heard June say. "Not just quick jokes." Han heard June tell a story about a human who tried to cook a meal for his new wife's family, but mixed up salt and sugar. The story was simple, but when June finished, Han heard a sound that made his 4 eyes widen. Tak laughed. Not just a small sound, but a real laugh. Something stirred inside Han. Curiosity. He wanted to hear more. The next day, Han made an excuse to enter the room during their session. "Commander, we have received a message from..." He stopped. Tak and June were watching a human comedy movie. Tak's face looked different, relaxed, his mouth slightly curved upward. "Leave the message on my desk, Han," said Tak. "I will read it later." "Yes, Commander." Han turned to leave, but Tak surprised him. "Unless you would like to join us. This movie is quite educational about human culture." Han hesitated. This was against everything he had been taught. But the look on Tak's face, something almost like kindness, made him curious. "For a few minutes, Commander. For educational purposes." Han sat down stiffly on a chair. On the screen, a human fell into a pool of water, then came up sputtering and making funny faces. To his shock, Han felt something in his face, a twitch, like the one he had heard in Tak's laugh. His chest felt warm. After that day, Han joined their sessions regularly. Soon, he brought another officer, Hyun, who was young and had always asked too many questions. Hyun took to laughter even faster than Tak had. June called them his comedy club. 3 Vorks sitting in a room, learning to laugh. "You know," June said one day, "laughter is just the beginning. Humans have many emotions: joy, sadness, love, anger, hope." "Why would anyone want sadness?" asked Hyun. June smiled. "Because feeling sad means you cared about something. It means something mattered to you." The 3 Vorks thought about this. It was a new idea, that caring about things might be good, not weak. Word began to spread quietly through the small ship. More officers found excuses to pass by June's quarters during the sessions. Some lingered in the hallway, listening. Others asked Han about the human research in quiet corners. 1 month after leaving the main fleet, 7 Vorks officers regularly attended June's sessions. They called themselves the Loafers as a joke, but it was becoming more than a joke. One night, Tak sat alone in his quarters, thinking. He touched his face, feeling the new lines there, smile lines, June called them. He had smiled more in the past month than in his entire life before. The Vorks believed that emotions made one weak, but Tak did not feel weak. He felt alive, more alive than ever before. His computer beeped. A message from the High Command. Return to Central Fleet immediately. Inspection of research progress required. Tak felt a new emotion then, fear, not for himself, but for June and the other humans, for his officers who had learned to laugh. If the High Command discovered what was happening on his ship, they would call it corruption. They would order all humans killed, and the affected Vorks reset. Tak could not let that happen. But how could he, one commander, stand against the entire empire? As he sat wondering what to do, he heard a sound from the hallway. Laughter. His officers sharing the joke as they passed by. And for the first time, Commander Tak wondered if laughter might be more powerful than all the weapons in the Vorks fleet. Tak's ship rejoined the main Vorks fleet 3 days later. As they approached, Tak called all his officers to the bridge. The High Command must not know what we have learned, he told them. His voice was firm, but not cold like before. Act as Vorks are expected to act while they are watching. But Commander, said young Officer Hyun, why must we hide? Is laughter not a good thing? The High Command will not see it that way, said Tak. They will see it as weakness, as corruption. They will take June away. They may even reset all of you. The officers looked at each other. They knew what reset meant. Their minds would be wiped clean, memories erased. The thought of losing their new feelings was frightening. "We will be careful," promised Officer Han. Tak nodded. "Good. Now, I must speak with June." In June's quarters, Tak explained the danger. "You must act like a proper prisoner when anyone new comes aboard. No jokes, no smiles." June nodded, serious for once. "I understand. I don't want to cause trouble for you or the others." "It is not just about us now," said Tak. He showed June his computer screen. "Look at these messages." On the screen were coded messages from other Vorik ships. They all asked the same question in different ways. "Is it true? Have you learned to laugh?" "Word has spread," Tak explained. "Young officers throughout the fleet are talking. Some have tried to make jokes based on what they've heard. Others have watched human movies in secret." June's eyes widened. "You mean this is spreading beyond your ship?" "Yes, and that makes it more dangerous." Tak stood up straighter. "The High Command fears anything that threatens order. If they learn how far this has gone, they will crush it completely." For 2 weeks, they played their parts well. When High Command officers came aboard to inspect, Tak's crew were perfect Voriks. Cold, efficient, emotionless. June stayed in the prison section, looking properly afraid and defeated. But in secret, the movement grew. Tak received more coded messages every day. On other ships, small groups of Voriks met in quiet corners to share jokes and stories. They called themselves Laughers too, copying Tak's crew. Some brave ones even contacted humans on neutral planets, asking about humor and emotions. A few traded rare items for human comedy books or movie files. One night, after the High Command inspectors had left, Tak's officers gathered in the ship's meeting room. June sat with them, no longer a prisoner but a teacher. "The movement has reached 23 ships now," said Officer Han, looking at his datapad. "Over 300 Voriks have shown interest." "This is bigger than we thought," said Tak. "And more dangerous." "But also more powerful," said June. "Think about it. What if enough Voriks learned to laugh, to feel? The whole empire might change." The room was quiet as they considered this idea. Change the empire. It seemed impossible. The Voriks had been cold and cruel for thousands of years. "I received a message today," said Officer Dury suddenly. Everyone turned to look at her. She had been the last of Tak's officers to join their group, the most resistant to emotion. "My brother serves on the flagship," she continued. "He says Admiral Suk is concerned about reports of strange behavior in the fleet. She has ordered all ships to be monitored for signs of emotional contamination." Dury's voice shook slightly. "She has ordered that any Voriks showing such signs be reset immediately. Any non-Voriks causing such signs be executed." A heavy silence fell over the room. Admiral Suk was the most feared commander in the entire fleet, cold even by Vorik standards. "Then we must be more careful," said Tak finally. "But we will not stop. What we have learned is too important." He looked around at his officers, his friends now, though the word was still new to him. Their faces showed worry, but also determination. "Laughter has changed us," Tak said softly, "and perhaps it can change the empire." For 2 months, the movement grew in secret. Tak's ship became the center of a hidden network. Messages passed between ships using codes that even the High Command could not break. The number of Voriks who had learned to laugh grew to over 1,000. June taught them more than just humor. He taught them about friendship, kindness, and even love. These ideas were completely new to the Voriks, who had always seen other beings as either useful tools or dangerous enemies. "The High Command doesn't know what to make of the changes," Officer Han reported during a secret meeting. "Efficiency on some ships has actually improved. Crews work better together when they care about each other." Tak nodded. "It is as I suspected. Emotions do not make us weak. They make us stronger in new ways." But their secret could not last forever. One day, as Tak was on the bridge, a large ship appeared on their screens. Everyone went still and quiet. "It is the Emperor's fist," said Officer Dury. her voice tight with fear. Admiral Suk's flagship. Why would she come here? Asked Hyun, forgetting to hide the worry in his voice. Before Tak could answer, a message came through. Admiral Suk's cold face appeared on the main screen. Commander Tak, she said, I will board your vessel in 1 hour for inspection. Have all crew and prisoners ready. The screen went dark before Tak could reply. She knows, said Han quietly. Tak stood very straight. Perhaps, or perhaps she only suspects. Either way, we must be careful. He turned to Duri. Move June to the hidden storage compartment we prepared. Tell the other humans to say they have not seen him for weeks. As his officers rushed to prepare, Tak went to find June. The human was already packing his few belongings. If she finds me, she'll kill me, said June, and she'll hurt you and the others. We will not let that happen, said Tak. We have a plan. But Tak was not as confident as he sounded. Admiral Suk was known for her thoroughness. She had uncovered many plots against the Empire. If she searched the ship completely. 1 hour later, Admiral Suk boarded with 20 armed guards. She was tall, even for a Vorix, with gray skin that looked almost white. Her uniform had many medals showing her high rank. Commander Tak, she said, not bothering with greetings. I have received disturbing reports about your ship. What reports, Admiral? Asked Tak, keeping his face blank. Reports of emotional contamination, of Vorix learning human behaviors, of laughter. She said the last word like it was dirty. I assure you, my crew follows all Vorix protocols, said Tak. Suk stared at him with her 4 cold eyes. Then you will not mind if I inspect your ship completely, every room, every crew member. Of course not, Admiral, said Tak. For 3 hours, Suk and her guards searched the ship. They questioned crew members. They checked computer records. Tak followed behind them, his heart beating fast, another new feeling he had learned from June. The search was almost over when a young guard found the hidden panel in the storage area. He called to Suk, who ordered it opened. Inside was June, sitting calmly on a small crate. Well, hello there, he said to Suk with a smile. Come to hear a joke. Suk's face showed the only emotion Vorix were supposed to show, cold anger, so the reports were true. She turned to Tak. You have allowed this creature to corrupt your crew. She raised her weapon and pointed it at June. This ends now. Tak stepped between them. No. The bridge went completely silent. No Vorix ever said no to a superior officer, especially not an admiral. What did you say? Suk asked, her voice dangerous. I said no, repeated Tak. You will not harm him. Admiral Suk's eyes narrowed. Then you have confirmed your guilt. Guards, arrest Commander Tak for treason against the Empire. Arrest him, Admiral Suk ordered again. Her guards raised their weapons, but no one moved. Suk turned, her eyes widening as she saw every one of Tak's crew members standing still, watching. None of them moved to obey her order. What is this? She hissed. I command you to arrest your commander. Officer Han stepped forward. We will not. Officer Duri joined him. Commander Tak has done nothing wrong. One by one, all of Tak's officers came forward to stand with him. Even the youngest crew members joined them. Suk's face showed real emotion now, shock and rage. This is open rebellion. You will all be reset for this. Tak looked at his crew, his friends, standing with him. He felt something warm in his chest, something he now knew was gratitude. Then he turned back to Suk. This is not rebellion, Admiral, he said calmly. This is evolution. He reached over and pressed a button on the wall. A light flashed, showing that his words were now being broadcast to the entire ship. And not just his ship. Han had secretly connected their system to the communication network of the whole fleet. I am Commander Tak of the Vorix Empire, he began. For 30 years, I served the Empire perfectly. I conquered planets. I killed millions. I did everything a good Vorix should do. He paused, looking at June, who gave him an encouraging nod. But I felt empty inside. There was a hole in me that could not be filled by conquest or power. Then I met a human who showed me something new. He showed me how to laugh. Tak heard Suk make an angry sound, but he continued. We Vorics have been taught that emotions make us weak, that caring for others makes us soft, that laughter is a sign of poor control. But I have learned that this is not true. He looked around at his crew. Since my crew learned to laugh, to care for each other, they have worked better together. They have solved problems faster. They have become more creative in their thinking. They have become better, not weaker. Suk tried to speak, but Officer Han stepped forward, blocking her. The Empire teaches us that we are superior because we feel nothing, Tak continued. But what kind of life is that? To conquer the galaxy, but never feel joy. To rule all species, but never know friendship. To live for centuries, but never laugh. Now Tak did something no Vorics had ever done in public. He smiled, a full, real smile that changed his whole face. I have learned that there is strength in caring, in connecting with others. The humans we thought were weak have given us a gift greater than anything in our empire. They have shown us how to be whole. Tak turned directly to Admiral Suk. You can kill me for saying these things. You can reset my crew. But you cannot stop what has begun. Over 1,000 Vorics have already learned to laugh. They have shared jokes and stories. They have made friends. They have begun to change. As if to prove his point, a message light began blinking on the control panel. Then another, and another. Soon, dozens of lights were flashing from ships all across the fleet. Messages of support from other Vorics who had been listening. Suk stared at the panel, her face showing disbelief. You see, Admiral, said Tak gently. This is bigger than one ship now. This is the future of our people. June stepped forward and stood beside Tak. The human was much smaller than the Vorics, but he stood tall and proud. Your empire was built on fear, Tak said to Suk. Ours will be built on something stronger, understanding, connection, and yes, even laughter. For a long moment, everyone was still, waiting to see what Suk would do. Her hand still rested on her weapon. Then, from somewhere in the back of the room, a sound began. A Voric's laugh, quiet at first, then louder. Another joined in, then another. Soon, the whole room filled with the sound of Voric's laughter, a sound that had never been heard in the thousands of years of their history. 6 months had passed since that day on Tak's ship. The Voric's empire had changed in ways no one could have imagined. Admiral Suk, faced with the wave of laughter and the messages of support from across the fleet, had made a surprising choice. Instead of fighting, she had asked to hear a joke from June. Her first laugh had been small and unsure, but it had been real. Now, Tak stood on the bridge of a new ship, the Harmony. It was the first Voric's vessel built for exploration rather than conquest. Through the large window, he could see a beautiful blue planet below. The humans are ready to meet with us, said Officer Han, who now wore the new uniform of the Voric's cooperative. The old Empire symbols had been replaced with a simple star design. Good, said Tak with a smile. Smiling was easy for him now. Tell them we come as friends, not conquerors. Beside him stood June, no longer a prisoner but an official diplomat. The human wore formal clothes with both human and Voric symbols. Nervous? June asked. A little, admitted Tak. This is the first peace treaty the Vorics have ever signed with another species. You've come a long way from the commander who captured me, said June with a grin. Tak nodded. We all have. The changes had not been easy. Many older Vorics had resisted at first. Some still did, but the movement had grown too large to stop. When over half the fleet had declared support for the Loffers, the High Command had been forced to listen. Now, the Vorics were learning to balance their natural strengths, discipline, focus, efficiency, with their new emotional awareness. They were becoming a different kind of power in the galaxy. Commander, message from Earth, said Officer Dury. They are sending up representatives to meet us. Soon, a small human ship docked with the Harmony. Human diplomats came aboard, looking nervous but hopeful. This was the first official meeting between humans and Vorix that did not involve threats or weapons. Tak stepped forward. "Welcome to the Harmony. I am Commander Tak of the Vorix Cooperative." An older human woman stepped forward. "I am Ambassador Chen of Earth. We are cautiously optimistic about this new chapter in our relationship." "As are we," said Tak. "We have much to learn from each other." The meeting went well. By the end, the humans were more relaxed, even laughing at a joke Tak told. Not a very good joke, but he was still learning. Later, after the humans had returned to their planet to discuss the treaty, Tak and June stood alone on the observation deck, looking at the stars. "Did you ever imagine this would happen?" asked Tak. "When you first became my prisoner?" June shook his head. "Never. I was just trying to stay alive by making you laugh. I didn't plan to start a revolution." "But you did," said Tak. "One joke at a time." They were quiet for a moment, watching a shooting star pass by. "There are still challenges ahead," said Tak. "Not all Vorix accept these changes. Not all humans trust us. The work will take generations." "But it's a start," said June. "And a good one." Tak nodded. Then he turned to June with a serious expression. "I have been practicing something," he said. "A human custom you taught me. I want to try it." "What's that?" asked June. Tak took a deep breath. Knock, knock. June's eyes widened, then he grinned. "Who's there?" "Vorix." "Vorix who?" "Vor excited to be your friend," said Tak, his face breaking into a wide smile. The joke was terrible. They both knew it, but they laughed together anyway, their voices echoing through the ship. Outside the window, the stars seemed to shine brighter than before. The galaxy was changing. The Cruelest race had learned to laugh, and in doing so, had found a better way to live. And it had all started with one human, one Vorix, and one small laugh. The end.